Well, welcome everyone to class. So today we are going to finish the unit on hydrosphere, or the hydrology unit, with lesson 10. And we are going to prepare to do the hydrology report for the country that we have chosen. I'm going to also do some reviews of other things, okay, some of the assignments that you have turned in and so on, okay, and see where we go from there. If you have any questions, you can feel free to put a comment there in the chat, or you can make also a comment with the microphone. Okay, sometimes it's easier really to type, to speak than to type, okay? And so if you have a microphone available, that would be best. If you don't have a microphone available, I actually encourage you to get one, so you'll be able to interact better in these classes. And for the chat, okay, thank you, Rodney. I really appreciate that you liked the lesson yesterday. For the chat, let's keep anything that is related to the class, we keep it in the chat, okay? If you have something to say privately to some of the other class members, you can also use the chat, but on the private side, okay? For me, I try to keep an eye there on the chat. I don't know if you can see it. No, I don't think that you can see it, but I keep it kind of open on the side of the screen in order to be able to see what is going on. Everything that is going on in the chat is recorded on the video, okay? So don't write anything that you don't want to be recorded and published in YouTube, all right? So that is something, okay? Rodney, I have not forgotten that I need to upload. So I've uploaded all the videos that I have of the classes. I need to put the links of the videos there in the classes.
I watched yesterday's class, guys. Quite an interesting conversation going on.
That's right. See, it's all recorded there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it could become quite entertaining. So, all right. So you found the channel, okay, to see the videos. Excellent.
Learning.
Good deal.
Is there
All
a
right.
channel on YouTube that you can see the classes?
Yes, it's called Latter Day Learning, okay, or Latter Day Learning Online, something like that. And all the recording of the classes that I do here, I upload them there in YouTube. And so what I want to do is today, after this class today, I'm going to put a link there on the videos in each one of the lessons that we've already have, that I have videos for. I don't have videos for all the lessons, but I'll be putting that up there, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's go to today's lesson. In today's lesson, I have several links, actually, okay? So I have a lot of links in Wikipedia to different landforms, not landforms, these will be hydrological forms, okay? So we have a link there to the article on oceans, seas, lakes, aquifers, the list of gulfs, okay? What are gulfs? Bays, rivers, and river deltas, okay? So these are some of the hydrological features really that we could have. And so, for example, what I want you to do is to go to these links and study them, all right? So you study and you learn about, for example, in this one, the oceans, okay, comes from the Greek okeanos, okay, okeanos. So that would be the accent on the O, okeanos, all right? And it has information about all the different characteristics of the oceans. We can see the list of the oceans. There are 7 oceans in the world, all right? this is a very cool picture that shows the limits, really, the kind of the boundaries, if you wish, of the different oceans. Okay, so very, very cool animation. All right. And so each one of the articles has a lot of information. Sometimes they have a lot of information. I don't expect you to study everything, okay? But certainly I want you to be able to see, to see the parts that you feel more important about each one of the articles, okay? So any questions that you have there, Rodney, we can talk about that right after class, after the prayer. Is that all right? Okay. So that is what I want you to do with these links here, okay? And then I have links to some of the articles on the main rivers of Europe, all right? And we have, for example, here the Rhine, and I have a little presentation that I prepare on the Rhine. So let's see if we can go here. All right, so for example, these are all, again, images that I got from Wikipedia, from the article on the Rhine, but you see how this can help you make the country report, all right, as you study the hydrology of the country. So if you are going to do the the country of Germany, okay, or France, or Switzerland, or Netherlands, the Rhine goes through all of those countries, and is a very, very important part of the hydrology of all those countries, okay? And so here we have a physical map of the Rhine, and this one is also a simplified physical map of the Rhine. So we can see that the upper Rhine, the Alpine part of the Rhine, starts in Switzerland, in the Alps, okay? So it's very, very high up in the mountains, almost on the border with Italy. So this line here, right there at the bottom, is the border with Italy. So really, the Rhine goes all through Switzerland. It makes the border between Switzerland and Germany, and then it goes through the middle of Germany. Okay, this is what it would be called the Middle Rhine. Okay, and then you have the Lower Rhine and the Rhine Delta. The delta is the area where a river is depositing the material that brings from the mountains and everything down, and it forms more land right before it empties into the ocean. Okay? All right? So that is kind of the extent of the Rhine. The Rhine is one of the most important rivers in Western Europe. Okay? Here I have some beautiful pictures of the source of the Rhine. So right up in the Alps, in Switzerland, all right, you see how all the rivers, always the rivers, this is something that I really like when I go to the mountains, is to see the source of the rivers. And they always start in really green meadows, very, very small places and so on. And all the water that melts from the snow starts gathering, okay, and then they start forming bigger rivers. So here we have the upper Rhine, still in between the mountains. Sometimes the upper portion of a river has falls, okay, and it has rapids, all right. Oh, yes. So there in Bolivia, in the Altiplano, everything is pretty brown. So that is true. Very, very dry in the Altiplano of Bolivia. So the upper Rhine area is actually very green, very similar to some of the upper areas here in the Rocky Mountains in Utah, okay? But the Rhine River, as it gets lower, it starts getting bigger, okay? Let's see, do I have something on? Okay, so this is kind of more in the middle part of the Rhine. This is by the city of Düsseldorf in Germany, okay? So we see that now the river, the Rhine River is navigatable, meaning that ships can go through the river, all right? Bridges cross the river and the water is now very calm, okay? So this is part of the delta of the Rhine. You can see now here the river coming down, all right, and emptying into a lake area that is probably just close to the ocean, okay? Yeah, yeah, you can tell where the city is by the color of the water. Sometimes you can, okay? So sometimes the color of the water can be a little deceptive, really, as to the quality of the water, okay? So, but, you know, yes, you can really see that sometimes people, you know, dump things into the waters of rivers and so on. In Europe, they try to keep the rivers very, very clean, okay? Let me see, here is the Rhine Delta, okay? Right in Netherlands. So here we have the city of Rotterdam at the shore of the sea of the North, you know, what would be the North Sea between Netherlands and England, and you can see how the river kind of meanders and starts going, spreading out, and so on, and that forms the delta of the Rhine. So that is kind of the presentation that I have about the Rhine. You can also see here the Rhine dividing in a schematic drawing into different parts, okay? So, yeah. Let me go here. Another very important river is the Danube River. In fact, last week in the class, I made a mistake. I called the basin of the Danube River, I call it the Dnieper River, all right? And it's the Danube. So the Dnieper River is this one here that goes through Ukraine, all right? So that is the Dnieper. But the Danube River goes, again, see here we have a Switzerland, and this is the Rhine River here in this area. So the Danube, the source of the Danube is almost close, very, very close also to the source of the Rhine, also in the Swiss Alps areas, and some of the tributaries are the rivers that join another river. So the tributaries of the Danube come here from the Swiss Alps. They go close, the Danube goes close to the city of Munich in Germany, all right? Then it keeps going west, and the city of Vienna, the capital of Austria, is right on the Danube. Budapest, that is the capital of Hungary, is also in the Danube River. In fact, half of the city is in one side and the other half is on the other, all right? In fact, if I remember correctly, Budapest was kind of joined between two towns, one called Buda and the other Pest, okay? And so you have the city of Budapest straddling the Danube River. Then it goes, the city of Belgrade, that is the capital of Serbia, is also here by the Danube River. And the Danube keeps going west through Bulgaria and it empties into the Black Sea. Very, very beautiful Very beautiful river. Is the second largest river here in Europe. I want to show you some of the pictures of the Danube. Okay, see, we have here, all right, so this is at Belgrade, the confluence of Belgrade. Let's see another Budapest. So this is from the Danube River, the city of Budapest. Basilica of Esztergom. Okay, so you can see Bratislava view from the Crown Tower. This is in another place. Okay, the Danube in Linz. So there's lots of areas that are very, very interesting about the Danube. And here, this is an interesting picture, 0 kilometers. This is the delta of the Danube River. So you can see right here on the border, this is the Black Sea. And the river empties into the Black Sea. So most of the times, the length of the river is going from the delta, started at 0 kilometers, and then you start counting upstream from the delta up to the source. Okay, and most of the times the buoys that are there in the river, they are numbered by that mileage, okay, or kilometers. So Annika, you said that I went to Budapest for a band collaboration with the schools from all around Europe. We played together. It was so cool. Do you remember seeing the Danube River there? That is awesome. Okay, I certainly wish I could travel more. Okay. Did you have a chance of seeing the Danube River there when you were in Budapest? So this is a panoramic view of the Danube in Vienna. All right, how beautiful there, the city of Vienna. Excellent. So you did see the Danube there. So another view of Vienna. This one you probably can recognize then, Annika. These two, all right, is the city of Budapest and the Danube River there by Budapest. Okay, all right. Very pretty river. Are there boats in this river? Okay, yes. So the Danube is one of the main arteries, all right, of boats, okay, and transportation up the river, okay. So you can see that, and that is a very important part, really, of the function of a river, is to enable transportation, okay. So that is the Danube, and again, a very important river, especially because it goes through so many parts of Europe, of Western Europe. There's lots of history associated with the Danube River. Okay, there were many wars, and for example, I've learned not too long ago that let me go back to the map, okay, of the Danube. I would use yeah. Yes, there is really fun to go on a river. So, but I learned not too long ago here that the Ottoman Empire, which is basically the empire that the Turks in Turkey built, this was in, starting in the 700-800s. The Ottomans started building an empire, and they conquered all of what is now Turkey, all the Middle East, Northern Africa, Iraq, Syria, all that area was conquered by the Ottoman Empire, all of northern Africa, all the way to Spain, literally. In fact, the Turks, and the Moors conquer Spain for 600 years, really. And they also conquer all of the area here in Bulgaria, Greece, Romania, and they started moving west, trying to conquer Europe. Yes, this was in the 1500s, in the 14 and 1500s. In fact, in Romania, there was one guy that was called, he was a noble of Romania, but he had been raised in the Ottoman court by the Sultan, and his name was Vlad Dracul, okay? And he fought with some of the people there in Romania against the Turks and the Ottomans, okay? And he did a lot of what we would call guerrilla warfare, instead of trying to battle the Turk armies directly, they would go by night and kill them, and try to really make them struggle and everything. One of the things that the Ottomans did was they were very, very ferocious, okay, in conquering people. But Vlad Dracul, one of the things that he did was that he would impale the enemies. That means basically skewer them, okay, and put them on post, hanging, there for everyone to see. So, so he became known as Vlad the Impaler, all right? Later on, he was also called the Count Dracula, all right? So, yes, they were dead, naked, and skewered like a kebab, okay? All right. So, okay. Oh yeah, so you get to hear the whole story of that, all right? And this is the origin really of Count Dracula. So he was really from this area of Romania. And the Turks at one point in history, they tried to go up the Danube River, okay, and invade Western Europe. And they lay siege in the city of Vienna, and they actually were stopped there in the city of Vienna. They were not able to conquer the city, and so they had to go back. And that really stopped the Turks from invading Western Europe, So the rivers play a very important part in all these history things that happen. Okay. The largest, yes, I'm very glad that I didn't live then. Yes, yeah, it sounds a pretty ugly time. Well, that is life. Okay, yeah. The largest river in Europe is the Volga River. That is war. The Volga River is a river that goes in, let's see the map here. Let's see if we can, it's not very big, but it goes all the way almost from the north. In fact, there are some canals that join here this way. This is the city of St. Petersburg, okay, that is on the Baltic Ocean. Remember last time Annika was telling us that Annika and Sam live there by Helsinki, all right, by the Baltic Sea, so that is very close there to St. Petersburg. And you see that there's waterways that really almost join the North Sea and the Baltic Sea here with the Volga river. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Romanian and Russian are very similar. Okay. So you took a cruise to St. Petersburg. Oh, I wish I could travel that much. That is awesome, Annika. Keep doing that and learning as much as possible. Okay. Learning languages, especially. So the Volga, yeah, the Volga is the main river in eastern Russia. All right. The border between eastern Russia and, I mean, in western Russia. In European Russia, this is European Russia, the border between European Russia and what would be Asian Russia or Eastern Russia is the Ural Mountains. So here we have all the Ural Mountains in this part. This is the Ural River here, okay, and then the mountains are here on this side, on the east of that. And the Volga is the main river going through Russia, okay? And I wanted to play for you something really interesting, okay? You know, rivers are very important in the culture, and they really kind of build the character of a nation. So here we are going to listen to, as I speak, let's see if this works okay, this song sung by Ivan Rebrov, the Song of the Volga Boatmen. Okay, all right. Can you hear that at the same time that I speak, or am I the only one hearing it? I need some feedback. Okay. Can you hear?
I can't hear it. No,
You cannot?
no.
Okay. Okay, so go here in the lesson. I put the link to this song, and I want you to listen to it, okay, as you study there about the Volga, okay. That was something, that was a test, something that I wanted to test to see if the sound also was fed through, but no, it seems that that it doesn't. Okay. So you are, Rodrigo, you are in YouTube listening to it. Excellent. Yeah, you can do that and listen to me as I speak also in the background. Okay. But the Volga really goes through the city of Moscow. Okay. The Volga goes through the city of Saratov. All right. This is the bridge over the Volga River at Saratov. Do you remember, have you seen that movie, The Saratov Approach, about the two missionaries that were kidnapped there in Russia? Well, this happened right there by the Volga River. Okay. The Volga is a very, very large river. Okay. You can see that. It's also navigatable by large boats. Okay. And some of the shores are quite high, like these ones here. They are kind of rocky cliffs. All right. Here we have a satellite view of the Volga, and you see how the cities are around the river, close to the river. This is the city of Volgograd. Volgograd. Okay. And then the Volga River empties into the Caspian Sea. Okay, so the Caspian Sea is an inland sea. There's no outlets to the Caspian Sea. So some people actually call it the Caspian Sea, and they say that it's the smallest inland sea, okay, or is the largest lake, okay. So, but most people call it a sea. So you see here the delta of the Volga River as it empties into the Caspian Sea. Here is the Ural River, also emptying into the Caspian Sea. Okay. I have in the lesson two links to YouTube. One is this one. This one doesn't have much of a movie. It's just the song. But I want you to hear it and to get kind of an idea of the boatmen the boatmen would kind of row or pull boats up and down the Volga River. Okay, so that is kind of the idea. And then I have this other video here that shows, it's a Russian video, but shows the source of the Volga. Okay, so there's a little spring of water where they say, yes, that is the source of the Volga River. So is the Caspian Sea salt or fresh? So it's interesting because it is salty, especially on the southern part. Okay, let me go and see if I can open Google Earth. All right, so in the southern part of the Caspian Sea is salty. In the northern part, where we receives most of the fresh water, it is less salty. Okay, so here we have the Caspian Sea. All right, very, very large. Let me put it north. Okay, and we have the Volga River emptying there in the Caspian Sea, and then the Ural River emptying here too. Okay, so this seems to be pretty dry area. All right, then you have here, these are the Caucasus Mountains, all right, that divide the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. But there's no outlets, there's no connections to the outside of the Caspian Sea. All right, so yeah, it's kind of half and half. Well, the northern part is salty also. It's not totally fresh water, but it's less salty than the southern part of the Caspian Sea. The Black Sea is salty also. All right, here we can see the delta of the Danube. Let's go further in. And we see here the delta of the Danube River emptying into the Black Sea. Okay, this is the area of Crimea. The Black Sea, though, is connected to the Mediterranean Sea, and we saw that last time by this strait, the Bosphorus Strait, right here. Okay, very, very narrow. And then there's called this small Sea of Marmara, and then the Dardanelles that connect the Sea of Marmara with the Aegean Sea, that is part now of the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so that gives us some up. I don't know what I was clicking there. Okay, so yes.
Did you see my question?
No.
Back there. It said, could you make one, an outlet, I mean?
It would be almost impossible to make an outlet here of the Caspian Sea because my understanding is that it's quite low, okay, and it is surrounded really by mountain regions. So where would you empty the water? Okay, it is a similar situation, really, if you wish, to what we have. There are several inland seas, okay, or lakes, okay, like the Great Salt Lake. So the Great Salt Lake is also an inland lake, okay. It is, it should be called a sea in the sense that it is salty, okay. But there's really no outlet to it. There's no possibility of doing an outlet. So there's fresh water coming in, but you cannot send the water anywhere. There's also here let me see, where is, right here. This one is the Sevier Lake. Okay. It's also a dry lake that sometimes during the summer, depending on how much snow we have had during the summer, this lake is actually filled, relatively filled, by the water of the Sevier River that comes right there from where you are from, Nathan and Rodney. Okay. Blow away for the water to run so it can become a fresh water by moving it. So the salinity, once you have an area that seeps in salinity, there's almost nothing you can do except evaporation to make the water fresh again. All right.
Someone just typed that in. Why would you want to make it run? Like, that's the idea.
That's right. That would be the idea. Okay. So if you, but the problem is that if you have salinity in the ground and then it mixes with the water, even if you move it out, then you would still move salty water out. Okay. Because the salt dissolves into the water. Yeah.
So as you would move it out, it would spread the salt eventually. I don't know how long it takes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So Utah Lake is actually quite green. The water is quite green because of algae. All right, that is what makes the water kind of green. So, you know, it is interesting you say that it's true that Utah Lake isn't deep, okay, it's very shallow. The bottom of the lake is quite muddy, and the carp fish, they kind of stir up the water. Some people say that it's filthy and disgusting, all right? But I love it, okay? I live right here in Saratoga Springs, and I have gone swimming in the lake from here, the Saratoga Springs Marina, all the way across this bay, this little bay here, into this area that is called Eagle Park, all right? So I have swum in the lake. This is about a mile, all right, going back and forth. So it's about a mile going one way, actually, you know. And so I never got sick, okay, you know. And when you swim, you take water in anyways, all right. So my view is that if the lake is green, it's because there's algae. If there's algae, it's live material, and live things make me happy. And so if the lake is living, I'm happy to live there too. Does that make sense? So I don't care too much about the color of that. When I was living in Argentina, I lived by the Paraná River. Let's go over there. See if we can go over there. Okay, this is going to take a while going this way, but
The Utah Lake kind of is like a swamp lake.
It is, okay. So in the sense that there's, you know, there are some inlets. There's one outlet, okay. The outlet is there, the Jordan River, all right. Yeah, I love Google Earth also. So I grew up here in the city of Rosario, and the city of Rosario is here by the Paraná River, all right. The river is very wide. So as you can see, actually, this is the main branch of the river that is about 1 mile wide in front of Rosario. But then there's other, you know, lagoons and rivers and everything. This, Victoria, is actually the other shore. So the river in reality is 36 miles wide, okay? This road here is a bridge, okay? And so when I was your age, guys, this was my playground. Yeah. So my playground was here, the Paraná River.
But you're like, you want to go play tag?
Yeah, so we play hide and go seek in the islands. Okay. So yeah, it was really, really cool. So we would come here to these islands, all right, in canoe, hitchhiking, swimming, however we could make it, sailboats, okay. however we could make it, and then we would play all day long in these islands. Okay, so this was capture the flag. Okay, you know, you name it, it was a blast in this area. And the river has quite a current. Okay, so you move quite a bit down. And when we would go back home, if we didn't have any other means of transportation, we would get to here, to this area, and then just swim. Okay, and the current will just take us down, and we would end up here in this area that was a public beach, you know. So this was the playground that we had. It was great. Yeah, we could just, well, you had to swim. You know, the current would take you quite a ways, but you had to swim in order to get all the way across. Swimming this way was a lot more difficult because if you started here, the current would take you about this area, you know, downstream. If you just try to swim straight across, okay, you would end up really, really down. Okay, so usually we try to hitchhike our way or row in canoes or something. One time my brother crossed the river in bucket. Okay, he found a bucket, and so he filled it up with air and sat on the bucket and crossed the river in bucket. Yeah. Yeah, this is, yeah. So yeah, we did all sorts of things in here. The fact of the matter is this river is very, very big, very wide, and so deep that actually transatlantic ships actually can go here into all the way up to Santa Fe actually. So you see here, this is actually a large cargo ship that is in the river. Okay, so and this is about 300 miles from the mouth of the river, but very, very large. The water is brown, like you can see here, and when you see the river is brown, but we have drunk of this water, I don't know how much, and never got sick, you know. So it's brown because there's mud in suspension in the water. Okay, it's suspended. And then you have the delta of the river. It keeps getting wider and wider. So see how the river keeps actually getting, you know, wider and wider. It joins then with the Uruguay River, and it forms a very, very large delta where it empties into the river plate. Okay, this is still fresh water. Okay, it's not salt water. It starts mixing in, but it is fresh water, and so this is the widest river in the world. Okay. Does altitude affect salinity? That is a great question. You mean like in the upper lakes, you know, for example, the Great Salt Lake or the Titicaca Lake? How is the Titicaca? Have you been there to Lake Titicaca in Bolivia? So let's see. Let's go over there for a second. All right. This is also an inland lake here. All right. Okay. So here we are, right in the area where Annika and Sam are. They are in the city of La Paz. But is this Lake Titicaca? I think so. I don't know why I'm not getting much. Okay, so you want to go, but you haven't gone there yet. Okay. So I think that this is Lake Titicaca. So I don't know. Again, that would be a great thing to find out, guys. So Sam and Annika, you have a special assignment to find the salinity of Lake Titicaca. Okay. So There are some, salar means salt desert, okay, so all this area is a salt desert. Salar de Uyuni Desert, so, you know, really, really salty areas. So where is La Paz? Let's see if we find, okay. La Paz. Okay, come on. Okay, so there you are. Okay, so the city of La Paz in Bolivia. Okay, oh no, there is Lake Titicaca. There we go. Here, this is Lake Titicaca. So that was I was way off. I guess that I wasn't far out enough to see. So yeah, I was thinking, yeah, that doesn't seem like it. So Lake Titicaca is also very, very large, okay, and it's very high. It's one of the highest, if not the highest lake in the world, okay, right up there in the Andean mountains, in the Andes, okay. So I want you to find out if it has salinity or not. Okay, it has a salinity between 5.2 to 5.5. How does that compare to the Great Salt Lake? So, or the ocean, all right? So let's find that out. So it seems that it has some salinity, okay? But let's compare that to what would be the Great Salt Lake or the ocean. And then report me back on that one. Okay, I would like to spend a couple of minutes here reviewing an assignment. Okay, so this is an assignment that Eliza, okay, submitted. This is her mathematical report. Okay, so is that okay? So the ocean has 3.5. So Lake Titicaca has a higher salinity than the ocean. Wow, so it is quite salty. Okay, all right. So yeah, I guess that it may be that there is a link, okay, a link between salinity and altitude. All right, yeah. So what would be, I know that I have a dumb accent, okay, sorry about my accent. So I hope that you don't start speaking like me, okay. So Eliza, are you here with us today? Let's see, yes, So is it okay if we review this together? I take it like, yes, it's okay. So let's go ahead and do it. So Scotland is in the northern hemisphere, right by England. All right. Okay. And so here we have the country of Scotland, a map of Scotland. And yes, it is north of England. All right. And then is a border in here, the Northern Sea. Let's see what else we have in the... All right, so here we have another map showing some of the areas of Scotland. We have an arrow here to the Shetland Islands. So these are the Shetland Islands that are way far north into the North Sea. And that is the northernmost part. Thank you. I will refrain from saying that, okay? I always have, trouble with my accent, so... That's right. Thank you.
Look at the words. It does not say that. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. So then we have the mountain Ben Nevis is the highest peak here in Scotland, 1,344 meters. So it's not very, very high, but because you are right by the ocean, see that is coming right from the ocean up to 1,344 meters, it looks really high. It looks very ominous. Okay, yeah. So, okay. So let's see here. We have Ben Nevis. All right, here is the highest point. All right, Loch Morar is the one and is below, and is 310 meters deep. So this is one of the lochs. Loch, I believe that is lake in Scottish. So so that is where they have the names. But you see that the mountains rise really very steep, very, very steep in Scotland. Very beautiful area. Okay, so here you have, Eliza, you've done a great job showing the points. Okay, so the southernmost point, the easternmost point, westernmost point, and the northernmost point, and then information here. The only feedback that I have for this is it would have been great maybe to have another slide showing a complete map of Scotland. Maybe you can go to Google Earth or something like that and take a shot, a screenshot of that, and then include it here and point out where these points are, okay, in the map. So, but very, very beautiful. And you have here the lighthouses there in the northernmost point and the easternmost point. And then I believe here that there's also a lighthouse up here. There's one right here. You can see that also in the southernmost point. So that is, the lighthouses are very, very important for navigation, so people don't crash into land places. Okay. 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 So my little brother is Braden, from the Scottish term for hill. Oh, okay. So Bray is the Scottish term for hill. Excellent. All right. Here I like this map here that shows that Scotland is on the edge of the European continental shelf. So the continental shelf is right there, and Scotland really goes very, very close to the continental shelf, to the edge of the continental shelf. And it's quite large in this area, the continental shelf. So all the North Sea is on the continental shelf, so it's not that deep. Okay, continental shelf is probably between 200 300 meters deep, so not that deep. Okay. All right, excellent report, Eliza. Thank you very much. So this is the type of mathematical report that I'm looking for your countries. Okay, I know that in the family school there are some worksheets, but remember the family school is built mostly for the elementary grades. Okay, for you guys, I'm expecting more of a high school level material. So this presentation, very, very good, well done, well researched. I love here seeing the latitudes points. What you would probably need to put, so here, for example, in the northernmost point, you don't need to put so much the longitude. So this is longitude west. So what you would put is what is the latitude north, okay? Because that would show what is the top, all right? In the same in the southernmost, you would put the latitude. It still would be north, but then it would show that is the southernmost part, the lowest latitude for Scotland. For the east point and the west point, yes, it's good to show then the longitude on those two. Does that make sense? Is that a good feedback, guys? Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Now, in the last few minutes, I would like to kind of switch a little bit of topics, and I would like to invite you. I have a link of this in the lesson also. Okay. Here, the Master, the Tempest is Raging by Howard W. Hunter. This is a talk that Elder Hunter, before he was the prophet, he gave, okay, in October of 1984, all right? So I kind of remember reading this when I was about your age. That 84 was the year that I finished high school, okay? So this talk is very beautiful, and it talks about the experience in the scriptures when the Savior calmed the seas. Okay, do you remember that story? So the disciples were in a boat in the Sea of Galilee, and the Sea of Galilee is actually very similar to Utah Lake. Okay, it's also a freshwater lake, surrounded by mountains. Rivers come into it, and one river called Jordan goes out of it. It's also very shallow, okay, and it gets very stormy and wavy, all right? So the same thing happens here in Utah Lake. I've been in several very, very treacherous storms in Utah Lake sailing, and whenever I'm there in one of these storms, I feel like in this case when the disciples were in a boat and the waves and the wind were beating into the ship, and Jesus, it says that he was asleep, okay, and the disciples awaken him and says, "Master, carest thou not that we perish?" And Jesus woke up, he arose, and he says, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And then he told the disciples, "Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith?" Okay. So now imagine the disciples there were really wondering, what manner of man is this that even the wind and the sea obey him? Okay. I can tell you by having been in some storms in sailboats, okay, you feel quite at the mercy of the wind and the waves and the elements there, okay? And there is not much that you can do, okay, to calm anything or control much, so you try just to control the boat and control the sails. And so I also always, remember this story and how Jesus can even control the wind and the sea, and they obey him. So some of you also like to sail like me. Oh, awesome. We should go sometime together. In this talk also, they talk about the hymn, "Master, the tempest is raging." And you have here the words of the hymn, which is beautiful, really. And I have as one of the possible assignments, the activities here for the lesson, to memorize this hymn. I would invite all of you to memorize this hymn, because it's important to remember in the stormy times of our lives that Jesus is in control even of the winds and the seas and the waters. Okay. And I really love that. I would love to go sailing, see if I didn't get motion sick so easily. So, oh yeah. So I don't like going motorboating. I personally I don't like the noise of the of the motors, okay, of the engines. I love the peace of the sails and the wind going through. So, all right. I would like to invite someone. I don't know. I've heard when in the introductions to the class that some of you are singers, that some of you like to sing. So if any of you would like to prepare this hymn and sing it here for the class, that would be awesome. Okay, so you can. Okay, so you can send me a message, if you would like to prepare that. Okay, and maybe you can record it, or we can sing it together here sometime. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
question.
Yes.
If I were to record it with the whole class here or just you?
No, we can probably put it into the class. Okay.
Alright.
We can put it into the class as an assignment. Okay. All right. So, Nathan, would you like to dismiss us with a word of prayer?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Excellent.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day we had, had to play work. And we're thankful that Mr. Riboldi prepared us this wonderful lesson. And please bless that we'll take into our lives. And please specifically all of our assignments then. Please bless that we'll be mindful of those in need. In the name of Christ, amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Haley. Yes.
Can you send me the link to the YouTube channel for the
Yes.
recorded classes?
Yeah, I am going to edit the lessons to include there a link to the recorded classes. Okay.